What it do, people? Is the MMA guy today recapping the UFC fight night Garcia versus Onama. And yeah, so we'll just get into it. First thing first. So, by the way, guys, we did awful on pick this card. So, Talita Alencar beats Ariane Carnelosi, which, how does that happen? Look at her arms, man. Submission as well for Talita Alencar. So we went 0-1 because we had picked Ariane Carnelosi. Then we have Sokyunko who beat Phil Rowe. He put a beating on that boy. I mean, that was not a good fight for Phil Rowe. I mean, he got completely outclassed in that fight. And I picked Phil Rowe. I thought he was coming off a good win. Maybe he's going to get momentum. Always thought he was a bit underrated. Turns out not really. Sokyunko's really that guy because he got two very solid wins. His debut, he beat Oban Elliott, and now he beats Phil Rowe. Give this guy like a Neil Magny test already, I think. I think that's the matchup to make. Then we have Ali Sardoline who beat Montserrat Canejo Ruiz. And to be honest, yeah. So there you go. Ali Sardoline. So that was my first pick that I got. So we're 1-2 right now. Then we did pick Norma Dumont. I even had some play on this, a slight play. I just feel I'm comfortable with Norma Dumont. I think she's legit. That was a split decision though. So I thought she won though. I really did think she won this. So now we're 2-2 on this card. Next we have Dante Johnson, who submitted flipping Cedric Dumas. We're not all that surprised. I mean, Cedric Dumas is a bottom of the barrel middleweight, and Dante Johnson is, if he's UFC caliber, most of the time he's gonna, like, most of the guys that are UFC caliber beat Cedric Dumas. So I just thought more than likely he would get it, and he did get it. So now we're 3-2. Maybe we didn't do as bad as I thought when I first looked at it. Then we have Timmy Kwamba. Timmy Kwamba beat Chongo Lee. How did that happen? I'm so confused. I missed that fight, by the way. Okay. What are these strikes where he didn't? Okay. I'm not so sure what happened here. I didn't see it. If y'all know what happened in this fight, let me know in the comment. Because I really thought that Chongo Lee would beat the brakes off Timmy Kwamba. And it seems like he did in the first round. But why does he have one significant strikeout of 49? What is this? This is crazy. This guy has 2 strikes overall, 2 takedowns. Okay. What is the difference? I feel like they're doing my boy. Okay. Damn, those are weird stats. I don't know. Timmy Kwamba was 0-2, and Chongo Lee was 2-0, and I guess Timmy Kwamba somehow pulled it off. So shout out to him. Now we're 3-3, right? 2, then we went boom, boom, boom. 3-3. But we did pick Billy Alacana, so we do finish the prelim at 4-3. He submitted Kevin Christian. I feel like Billy Alacana is such a small 205er, but he does have some good skill set on the ground. And so if he's able to get the fight down against these, I don't want to say 205ers are blobby, but he does look a bit blobby. And they fight as blobs, kind of, because they're bigger guys. They don't have the same skill set as bantamweights and stuff like that. But you look at Billy Alacana, and he looks like an athletic middleweight. And so he's running through these guys because of it. Shout fake lighterman skills because he's never fought under 205 in the UFC. So Billy Lequana, we're 4-3. Okay, here's the thing, guys. For this fight, it was supposed to be Alan Nascimento versus Rafael Estevam, and I picked Rafael Estevam. I would never have picked Cody Durden to beat Nascimento. So I'm not gonna take an L on this one. I'm just gonna. It is normal that Nascimento submitted Cody Durden, I think. Look at the strikes though. Damn, that was a close fight. Yep. Now, so Alan Nascimento with the submission, that was pretty impressive, to beat Cody Durden this way. But then again, Cody Durden isn't all that good at all. I mean, he's lost more than he's won these days. So, yeah. Then we have Charles Radke, who I picked. So off of the fights that I picked that went on, because this one didn't, we're 5-3. It's not so bad. Submitted him in the third. What? Okay. This is weird. The UFC website, man. So yeah, I thought Charles Radke would win. I think Daniel Franza, I don't even think he had a fight before that in the UFC. And oh, he did. He lost to AJ McKee by doctor stoppage after the first. And we know Radke is a pretty good fighter. He doesn't he's not top 15. He's not right below it, but he's not a bottom of the barrel welterweight. And I thought if you lose to AJ McKee, you're losing to a bottom of the barrel. You're not going to beat a guy like Charles Radke. Next we have Isaac Dolgarian, who submitted Yadir Davali, who submitted Isaac Dolgarian. And my pick had been Isaac Dolgarian to beat Yadir Davali, which I don't know why I picked that. Well, I mean, the odds were in his favor, to be fair. And so now we are 5-4. I think. Yeah, 5-4. But we had picked Tembo Garimbo. So we're 5-5. That was an okay fight, I thought. At first it was Tembo Garimbo beating Jeremiah Wells in the wrestling. But then Jeremiah Wells started coming back. And he edged it out in the end, which I thought was a weird fight because first round, Tembo Garimbo was working the takedowns and all of that. But I don't know why Temba didn't decide to just strike with Jeremiah Wells, who, to be fair, does have very powerful hands, but he's a bit of an NPC striker, I'm not going to lie. Jeremiah Wells is jacked and he's powerful, but he doesn't have good setups. He just throws a bit wildly, not so wildly that he's going to get you, but wildly enough that he's not going to get you. It's kind of one of those NPC strikers. And, Michael Bisping was like, oh, well, he's in your world. Dude, were you surprised that he brought you in your world with his British accent? And then I didn't try to do the British accent, by the way. This is not my British accent. And yeah, Jeremiah Wells just, ended up edging it out because he was able to beat Temba Garimbo in the grappling exchanges in the later rounds. So, yeah, that was an okay fight. I think Temba Garimbo's, he's lost to a washed Vicente Luque, and now he's losing to Jeremiah Wells. Temba Garimbo is never going to be a top 15 fighter in the welterweight division because Jeremiah Wells isn't either. Jeremiah Wells literally lost to Max Griffin not that long ago. We're talking about bottom of the barrel. Look, lost a split to Max Griffin in 2024. And he lost to Harris by submission in the third before that. Before that, he got a split decision against Semmelsberger. Before that, he got a KO McGee. Those are terrible level of opposition. This is bottom of the barrel. He beat an old, is that Thiago Alves? I think so. That was an old version of him. Then he beat this guy who's also bottom of the barrel, the UFC. Then he beat McGee. Yeah, beat Diamond and McGee. So those are bottom of the barrel. Then he fought against another bottom of their barrel, but little bit less wash at the time, maybe. He got a split decision. Then he got submitted against Harris, lost to Max Griffin, and now he's beaten Temba Garimbo. So Temba Garimbo, not all that at all. Temba Garimbo, he got that hype moment because Dwayne paid for his house, and that's pretty much the only thing he's gonna get, I think. Next, we have a fight where I might do a video at some point on like the high poke situations, because this is getting out of hand. Waldo Cortez Acosta just getting poked badly in the eyes. They like stop the fight, but they don't wave it off. And then they come back, put it back on, and Waldo Cortez Acosta puts Ante De Liga out cold. It's like, god damn, what is this thing? Such a weird fight. But Waldo Cortez Acosta won. That was our pick. Damn, I've kind of lost count. I thought 5-4, then 5-5. So now we're 6-5. Okay. Waldo Cortez Acosta, Ante De Liga. Yeah, so Waldo Cortez Acosta didn't look all that good. He started clinch festing. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Like, why is this guy clinch fest? This guy is like, oh yeah, I'm hungry, I'm this, and that. And then he starts clinch. Like, he starts to, like, engage in the clinch, unactive in the clinch, just stays there. Oh, I want to drop us down to a double. I want to drop down to a double. Why is this guy a wrestler now? Like, we know him for his striking. The only way we can think of Acosta as a top heavyweight is because he has good hands for the division. He has pretty fast hands. He has and good volume. He got out wrestled when he fought against Pavlovich. As well, we're not gonna start acting like Waldo Cortez Acosta is gonna develop a wrestling skills and start beating people. He did it against Robles de Spain, who's terribly one-sided, one-dimensional. I mean, but Ante De Liga, that's not a. I mean, you gotta strike with this guy. You gotta strike with these guys if you want to be looked at as a top heavyweight. Because if you always do like Ian Gary, what you gotta do to win, people are gonna go like, this is not a world beater. This is a guy who's adaptive and gets it by barely winning. But then he did KO him, so I can't really talk much. I can't talk too much crap. So shout out Waldo Cortez Acosta, still a legit heavyweight prospect. Next, we have Steve Garcia versus David Onama, in which Steve Garcia, his boxing looked pretty crisp. I thought he looked good. He looked a bit hittable with the jabs and stuff, but besides that, good power, good entries for punches. He's long. He has long arms, so he's able to get. I thought that was a very impressive performance, and I had picked David Onama. So I went 6-6, I think, or something like, yeah. I'll revalidate that. But I always said this. I had picked David Onama, but I was saying that Steve Garcia stylistically was a bad matchup for David Onama. I just thought he hasn't faced the same level of competition, so I was kind of like, well, I'll just, Steve Garcia hasn't had his Giga Chikadze win. He has had a very washed Calvin Kattar win off of a 4-fight losing streak. There was no one close to the ranking. Then he beats like Kyle Nelson. And Kyle Nelson looked horrible against Matt Frivola. I was just like, Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia looked improved, man. He looked sharp. I thought that was a very solid fight. That was a very solid performance by him. David Onama always kind of gets rocked at a certain point in the fight and then comes back, dogs it out, but Steve Garcia was able to put a stamp on it instead. And so shout out Steve Garcia, put a beating on David Onama. Took only one round. And so, I'm going to try to do more stylistic breakdowns now. That fight has kind of taught me a lesson about going purely off of level of competition rather than stylistic, how they match up stylistically. So, because I kind of treat it like a GOAT list. In the sense that I'll go, I think David Onama is going to win because I'm more impressed with his record than of Steve Garcia. But stylistically, I knew that Steve Garcia was going to be a tough matchup for him. And I did call it out if you want to go watch that prediction. I'm telling you. I said Steve Garcia is a bad matchup, but he hasn't fought the same level of competition. That's what my reason behind David Onama. But I did put money on Steve Garcia, so I was kind of like, afterwards, I kind of regretted making that pick. But whatever, you know. We have Steve Garcia, so then we'll go. I will just see how I did on predictions, and then I will talk about who I want to see for their next matchups if I do. For this card, since it's extremely not stacked, I will just go over main event fights for this, but not for predictions. So I did 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 2-3. Haven't done that one. 2-3, 3-3, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4, 7-4. I said 7-4. 6-5, 6-6. So I went 6-6 on this. So 50% prediction. Yeah, not so happy about it. Now, who do I see next for these guys? So for Steve Garcia, he's now number 12, I think, or 11. I could see him fight. He's fighting at featherweight. They could match him up with Brian Ortega. I think that makes sense. Brian Ortega is on a big losing streak at this point. And he's still in the rankings. You know, it's time to make place for the new guys. That was a very solid performance by him. I think they can make that fight. Steve Garcia versus Brian Ortega. I think he's probably going to beat Brian Ortega. Next, we have David Onama. David Onama was number 13 now, so he has to defend his spot against Prospect. Who should he defend it against at 45? That's outside of the rankings. That's a good one. This division, when it comes to the slower end, I guess you can make him fight whether he's defending his spot or not. I don't really mind. You can make him fight against Patricio Pitbull. I think that could be a cool fight. Like a little first fight of a UFC card. I don't really have any hype on David Onama, and kind of stuck with this division. Hold on, let me look it up real quick, because right now it's kind of like nothing's really popping up that I'm like, oh, that's a cool fight for him. Let me see this division. Okay. He's right under Dan Ige, but Dan Ige, I think, lost his... Did he lose his last fight? Yeah, he lost to Pitbull in his last fight, but Pitbull's above him. David Onama could fight either Giga or Dan Ige. I'm not mad at the Dan Ige matchup for David Onama. I think that's a cool fight. They're both off a loss. You know, fight it out in the lower ranks. That could work. Next we have Waldo Cortez Acosta. What do I see next for him? Do the Gelton Almeida fight. Gelton Almeida off a loss right now. Waldo Cortez Acosta in the top 10. Do a Gelton Almeida fight. I think that's a cool fight for him, because if Gelton has any trouble getting the fight down, and if he's inactive on the ground, and it's like a fight night main event type thing, a 5-rounder, I can see Waldo Cortez Acosta doing something. But then again, if Gelton Almeida ragdolls him and subs him early, then it's like the hype is back, kind of. So yeah, I'd look forward to that. For Ante Delia, he got rushed into the top 10. I think you have to give him a good good matchup. He's off a loss, but also at the same time, you can't give someone too big of an opportunity. I would say, and he's lost right now, he has to defend his spot. Do Ante Delia versus Mario Pinto. I think that's the fight to make. Because Mario Pinto just beat Jonathan Denise, who's the most solid, unranked heavyweight I can think of. Or I don't know if he's like number 14 or something. I'm pretty sure he's unranked. Right outside of it. And so, if he is unranked, then he's going for the rankings. And I think Ante Delia is like, he looks like a solid heavyweight. He's a bit of an athletic heavyweight. Bit light. I think a fight against him and Mario Pinto. I think that's cool. Jeremiah Wells, man. I'm not that hype on him. Give him... Kevin Holland lost his last fight. Give him a Kevin Holland fight. Give him the Kevin Holland test. Right outside the rankings. Whoever wins this fight gets a spot in the rankings, since he asked for one. Want to fight against higher level competition? We'll do that, my boy. So we have that. Then for Tamba Garimbo. Tamba Garimbo is a lower level fighter. He's not gonna touch the top 15, I don't think. Tamba against... You could do Tamba Garimbo versus Jake Matthews or something. I think that makes sense. Because... Yeah, Tamba Garimbo against Jake Matthews. That's a fight that could make sense. Because Jake Matthews just got Darst against Neil Magny, who's outside the rankings, by the way. At this point, he's not in the rankings anymore. So it's like... You're fighting a guy that's getting finished outside of the rankings, but that's kind of close to them as well. So we can see if he still has something. If he loses that fight, cut him. Honestly, I don't care that he got out from The Rock Johnson. You're on a true fight losing streak against an unranked level competition. You're not that interesting to watch, realistically, unless you're putting out wars like Rembeshki does. But you're not Rembeshki. You're not putting out wars like that. We don't really care for it. Isaac Dolgarian, man, I'm not gonna start giving. I have no clue. Yadir Del Valle got a submission in the first round. Man, who gives that? I have no clue, guys. I have no clue to match up these guys with. Charles Radke. Charles Radke. Can Charles Radke really fight? Like, realistically, he hasn't fought anyone. I guess, you can make him fight the Leech. I don't know if the Leech is still fighting. I haven't heard his name in a while. But I feel like he's kind of in the same spot as he's like... Unless he gets a win like that, he's never going to be considered for the top 15 because he's lost to guys. Like Proches, he's lost badly to Proches. He's lost badly to Mike Mallet. He's beating these lower level comp, but he's not fighting the rankings. I think he needs a win on the Leash or something like that. For Alan Nascimento, Alan Nascimento was supposed to fight number 15. He fought outside the rankings instead. But I think you can do Alan Nascimento against... Who do you put him against, though? Because now he's going to have to fight within the rankings. He can fight, like, not Bruno Silva because he's off a win. He fought Cody Durden already. He just beat him. And he submitted him, to be fair. So that's good. You can rebook the Rafael Estevam fight, or you can make him fight. You could make him fight Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva is off a win, but Bruno Silva has been losing badly to everyone he's fought before that. That's ranked and stuff. So I think you can make a Bruno Silva fight for him to get a ranking spot. Either Bruno Silva or rebook the Rafael Estevam fight. Next, oh no, those are outside the rankings, guys. This card was so, it's such a low card. It's such like a card where the main event is barely a first fight on the. It's like a prelim fight on a big stack pay per view. That was the main event of this card. Granted, it was a good performance, but it's like it's not the name value. Oh, finishes after finishes, man. Finishes, 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 finish, finish. You know, we've had more finishes than decision, and yet you can't get hype for it because it's like, bro, I don't care about, like, I do care about seeing this fight. This is a cool fight. Book it as the feature prelim fight or something like that on a main event, on a main card. I mean, on a no, a prelim fight on a pay-per-view card. Because this is not the type of cards we want. If they do this with the Paramount thing, I hope there will be, there will be an outrage amongst UFC fans. We will go storm the Senate. I'm playing, but this is it. So, well, thank you guys for watching. Also, I've been a lot less active on the channel. Starting this week again, I'm gonna try to post every single day and not break the streak. And then I have my co-host that will be back with us on this channel. So it will just get better from here. Also, once we reach around, now we're at 8 subscribers. So a shout out to you guys. If we reach, well, not if, when we're gonna reach around 100 subscribers or so, I think I'll start going live for the card predictions and stuff like that, and then also do maybe for certain cards we could do commentary and stuff, just watch it with you guys or something, or do a Reddit so that we can talk about matchups, do I think that would be sick. Got many things popping for the channel, so hope you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.